طيب بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. So inshallah we will try to wrap this to do app inshallah by today. Okay, so this should be the last session inshallah, I guess. So let me turn the server on. No, my recording is started. The screen is also okay. It's not shared. You can see, right? So this is what we have until now. So yesterday we clicked on, we worked on this icon. We also added some styles. So lastly we worked on the enter button, right? So if I type something, okay, and press enter, that will be added here, okay. So how did we do that? We were using the on key down event, okay, and in this callback function we have that event object, and inside that we have the key code property, and 13 is the value for enter, okay. Every key has a code, okay, and the code for enter is 13. So if that key code is 13, that means that we have clicked on the enter button. So you just call this function, okay, which will be called when you click on the add to do button, okay. So yeah, event dot which I think it's the same, similar. So I think then you can get rid of this. I don't know why this is included. Maybe in some other browsers it's like this Ola column. Anyway, so this is how we do it, right? For entering it. If you click on enter button, then the to do will be added. So today inshallah we'll try to finish this app, and now what I want to do is yesterday we told we'll be speaking about custom hooks, right? Inshallah we'll come back to that. Before that, what I want to do is when I click on to do, right, I don't want it to be deleted there. Rather I want to show that to do, but with that with a striken font style, okay. Like you see the name there, but it's a striken, and also after that you have this delete icon, okay. So if you click on that will be deleted, okay. So if you add a to do, right, initially it will be like a normal to do, and if I click on that tick button, that should be moved to the to do the to dos that are completed. So it should be shown with the striken style, and after that I should have a delete icon. So if I click on the delete icon, then that will be deleted, okay. So this is what I should do, okay. So what shall I do for that? So initially if you see in the app.js file, we are having a to do, right, to dos array. So we are going to create a similar array, okay, to store all the to dos which have been completed, okay, right. So let me just copy that. So initially that will be empty, okay, empty array. So this can be called as completed, okay, completed to dos, set completed to dos, same thing, okay. So I have my state variable here. So what are the functions that we may need? Here we have the remove to do function. We'll just use this, okay. It's the same, except that in this time we will be filtering the completed to dos array, right? Because we told, right, when you click on a to do as done, right, that will be first moved to this array, okay. From there we'll be able to delete it, right? So it's the same function, except that here we won't be filtering from the to dos array. Rather we'll be filtering from this completed to dos array, okay. Completed to dos, okay. And here, right, we need one more function which will we should, like when you click on that tick button, right, we want to move a to do from this array to this array, right. For that I am going to create a function, okay. So what I can say is, let me say const mark to do as done, okay. Same thing, index, okay. So what this function should do, So I get the index, okay. This index refers to the index of that element in this array, because we can only mark a to do that is in this array, right? So whatever is that index, you take that element, remove that element from this array and push the same element inside this array, okay. So for removing the element from this array, this is the same logic, right? Whatever we have here, the same logic, right? And here we should say to do's. So you remove that particular to do from this array, okay, and this filter to do's will have the remaining to do's, right? So that's one thing. The second thing is whatever I filtered, right? That thing should be added to this array, right? Okay, it should be added to this array, okay. So what I can do is, here if you see, right, line number 20, I am removing that particular element from this array, right? But before removing, right, I'll just make a copy of that, okay. So to do to be marked is equal to this should be to do's, right? Remove to do, mark as done, it should be here. So here const to do to be marked is equal to do's of index, okay. So whichever to do I'm going to transfer, I'm going to make a copy of that first, okay. Here line number 25, make a copy. Line number 26, I'm going to remove that to do from this to do's array, okay. And in line number 27, what I will do, I have to push that removed element will be in this variable, right? I'm going to add that inside this here, completed to do's, okay. So I have to follow the same logic here, right? It's going to be similar. So it should be, instead of set to do's, this should be set completed to do's, okay, and destructuring completed to do's. This one, to do to be marked, to do to be marked, okay. And what about this one? This should be, this filter to do's, right, should be set as my new list of to do's, right? So that also should be done. So set to do's should be filter to do's. So I have one more function here which will do the job of transferring that to do from the list of to do's to the to do's that have been completed, okay. So everything else is similar, right? So here in my screen, right, when I code deploy, so here you see I'm showing a list, right? I'm rendering a list here, okay. So when I click on this to do, if I mark any one of that as done, I'm going to push that inside another array, and let me render that array as well, okay. Let me render that array on top of this thing, okay. So it's going to be similar. So what we have here is add to do to do's list, right? Let me create another component. Let me first copy, because both are going to be the same, right? So let me copy that and let me paste here itself. So let me rename that to completed to do's, okay. Okay, so what we did so far is we wanted to show the list of to do's that have been done, right? If I click on that, I don't want it to be displayed completely. Rather, I want to first show it separately on the top, and I want to show a strike and mark over that, okay, over that thing, and next to that I want to show a delete button, okay. And if I click on the delete button, that will be disappearing from the screen, okay. So I want this intermediate state. So one state is that normal to do, the other state is the to do which has been completed, and the third thing would be like it is going off the screen, okay. So for that, what we did was we created another array like completed to do's, in which we'll be storing all the to do's that have been completed, okay. And we have this function, right? Add to do functions is normal. Just add that new to do inside this array here. And we also remove to do, right? In this case, remove to do would be removing from this array, right? If I want to show, if I want to take something from the screen, completely make it disappear, then I should be removing that from here, right? Because this will contain all the to-dos that have been completed, right? So we need a third function which will do the transfer job, which will mark a to-do as done. So this is right now, it's not done yet. So if I click on this tick button, it should be moved to the list of to-dos that have been completed, right? So that transferring job, this function will do it, okay? Currently this function is not being used anywhere, but we will use it, okay? So this function, it takes the index, and this index refers to the index of that to-do inside this array, in this to-do array, okay? Because we'll be marking an element from that array, right? So you take that index, okay? So first you take a copy of that element, okay? Line number 24, make a copy of that element. Secondly, do what? Remove that element from the to-dos array. Third thing is insert that element into the list of completed to-dos, okay? Like this. And the fourth would be setting the new to-dos, okay? List of pending to-dos, like this. Because this filter to-dos will have all the to-dos except the one which has been marked so far. So we use this to set the list of to-dos, okay? Type. So now what I want to do is, right now if you see on the screen, we only see one list, right? I want to show a similar list, right? Which will have the list of completed to-dos, right? So I can use the same component because they're going to be similar, right? Both are list, okay? So what I did was I just made a copy here of this to-dos list component, and I renamed that file, okay? Completed to-dos. And here let me change this as well. Name completed to-dos, okay? And here remove to-do, this is fine, okay? And this should be completed to-dos, right? Completed to-dos. Rest of those things are fine. Here will come here, okay? We'll come and change this, but this is to get started. This is fine. So as for this one, right, to-do list component, I have to change here. Here, when I click on that button, right, I don't want to remove it, right? I want to do what? I want to call this transfer function, right? Which is here. I want to call this function, okay? So I have to pass this as my prop to the to-do list component, okay? So that should be mark to do as done. Mark to do as done. That function should be passed as the prop. Okay, mark to do as done. Okay. So let me come here and use that name here. Mark to do as done. Okay. And for the time being, right, let me just pass the same thing as a prop here, okay? Even though the names are not, names doesn't make any sense, right? Because this is this function is for marking to do as done, but the prop name is remove to do, right? But we will change it later, okay? We will, right now if you see this component, right, to do component, this is the same actually, okay? For this component and also for this component as well, but we'll make it dynamic, okay? Inshallah. Right now what I'm doing is, it's the same prop, but that's a different function, okay? So now if you see, we have one component here, to-dos list, and another component we have here, which is, when you click on that, it will call the remove to do function, okay? So now I have to import this component as well, right, inside my app.js file. So I want to show it on the, before the list of to-dos, right? So it should be appearing here, okay? So completed to-dos. Okay, and this takes two arguments, which are completed to-dos, two props. Likewise, remove to-do, right? Okay, so right now if you see it's complete, let's see what happens. We reload that. So we have three to-dos right now. If I click on here, you see it's going on top instead of disappearing from the screen. Why? Because it is being transferred from one array to another array. Even though it looks same, we said we have to show it as strike and write. We'll come back to those things. But if you see, instead of disappearing from the screen, it is going on top, okay? Because this it is being transferred from one array to another array. Like this, if I click on here, and if I click on here now, okay, there's some bug. See, it's not getting deleted properly, right? Because if I click on this button here, you should go away from the screen, right? So let's see what happens. Okay, let's look at the logic. Remove to do. Okay, we have the index here. Okay, completed to dos. See here, this is a problem actually. Here we are setting the list of to dos, right? But that is wrong, right? When you remove to do, you should remove that from the list of completed to dos, and then you have to set completed to dos, right? So that is a problem. So set completed to dos. Let me save that. Now it should work properly. Actually, I don't have to reload, but anyway. So see, it's going out, going from the screen. Okay. Okay. So this is working fine. But we just want to make some more changes, right? Which is some styling changes first of all. Here the first main thing is I don't want to show tick icon here. I want to show delete icon, right? So let me find a delete icon. SVG. Let me take this one, or okay, let's go with this one. Okay, download that. Okay, let me bring it here. So I have a delete icon. Okay, now there is this to do component which is being used at both places, right? This to do component is being used inside to do list as well. It's also being used inside completed to dos as well, right? Same component, right? That is why you see the icons the same. Also the styling is also same, right? So what I can do is I can pass this icon as a prop, right? Right here, just like I'm passing the to do as a prop, these functions as a prop, right? I can also do what? Pass this icon itself as a prop. Okay, like I told you, you can pass almost anything as a prop, right? So I can even pass that icon as a prop. Okay, so what I can do for that is let me change the component. Okay, so to do component, let me come here. Let me call this instead of here, right, image, right? So it's going to be image anyway, but instead of saying tick icon, right, this is going to come from the props. Okay, of this src, it is going to come from the props. Okay, so it's not going to come from okay, this. Okay, I should delete this, and here src should be action icon. Why we say it's action? Because it's going to be either deleted or it's going to be marking, right, as done. So let me say it's an action icon. Okay, and that should be coming from the parent as a prop. Okay, so let me put it here. This is fine, right, for an action icon. Okay, this is fine, right? Secondly, if you look at this name here, this is remove to do, right? This also should be made generic, right? Because remove to do means it's only specific for deleting, but I want this to do component to be common, right, for both removing and also for marking as done, right? So what I can do is I can make the name generic. Okay, I can say action. Okay, this is fine, right? Or let's say handle action. Handle action. Handle action. Okay, so I made these two changes. So I just want to change the prop name. So here if you see to do list, here this should be what? Handle action, and this is the function, right, which I want to call when I click on that. So this is fine. Apart from that, I also want to pass one more property, which is icon, right? Action icon. So that should be the tick icon, okay? Right? Import tick icon from tick.svg. That should go here. So similar thing should be done for computer to dos as well. Here it should be handle action, and then we also want to pass the icon there. So action icon is equal to, let me import the delete icon, okay? Delete icon, pass that as a prop. Now if you see, it's dynamic now, right? So I'm able to delete this. So one more thing would be code test deploy, which is to show a strike mark, right? If a to-do is marked, I don't want to display it like this normally. I just want to show a strike mark on the top, okay? So further what I can do, anyway it's going to be changing the CSS, right? I think I just have to say text decoration. So this for this span, right? Text decoration should be dashed unset, okay? Double line through, now this one. See here, line through. You just have to set the CSS property, okay? Text decoration is line through. It will show like this, right? So I want to set this property. So the thing is, ultimately this to do component, right? That should know whether that is a normal to do or to do that has been completed. I want to pass that information, right? So based on that information, it can choose to set that CSS style or not, right? So how can I pass that information? Using some prop, right? So just pass the information. So let's say that this to do component is going to accept one more prop called is complete, okay? Or is done, or is complete. So this is a boolean, okay? So I want to apply that styling for this span here, right? So I can apply directly here, okay? So for this span, let me say style is going to be, what is the property? Text decoration, right? The text decoration. So I can use a conditional here, okay? An inline conditional, which are the ternary operator, which is if that is complete, okay? If this is true, it means that the to-do is completed. In that case, what I should do? The property is going to be strike through or line through. Line through, okay? Otherwise, it should be none. You see, this is fine, right? I told you, right? This gives you a lot of flexibility, right? When you have an object like this, see, we are make it very flexible based on the prop, whether line through or none would be applied, okay? If that to do is completed to do, then this property will be applied, this style will be applied, or this value will be applied for this property. If it's not completed, then this will be applied, okay? None would be applied for text decoration, okay? So let me save that. So here I just want to pass this prop, right? For to-dos list, then is complete is going to be false, right? By the way, if you are going to give it as false, right, I can also do what? I can also delete it, right? Not pass the prop at all, right? Because false, undefined, when you don't pass it, means is complete is undefined. They are all false here, right? So it will still work, okay? Anyway, let me just pass it here. Likewise, for completed to-dos, there should be true, right? See here, now it works. Okay. Code, build, test, deploy. طيب أخي. And here when it comes to boolean props, right, like I told you, if it's going to be true, right, it's just enough if you just say like this. Just writing like this is same as writing is complete is equal to true. This is only for boolean props, okay? If you're passing up, this is supposed to be a boolean prop, right? So if you just write like this, right, it is equal to saying is complete is equal to true. Okay, see it works the same actually. Okay, so that's it, akhi. And so this app is complete, alhamdulillah. We can even do more. I told about using custom hooks, right? But I think inshallah we will do it later. Inshallah we'll discuss that concept later, inshallah, in our upcoming videos. But it is okay. It's done for this project, okay, inshallah. So we will wrap up this project by today. Oh, deploying. Yeah. Then okay, we'll do tomorrow, inshallah. Okay, we will deploy this app to Netlify, inshallah. How to deploy a React app. Okay, but okay, we'll do the deployment tomorrow. But before that, I want you to improve the styling actually. So I want you to make the site responsive. Okay. So what I'll do is I will push this code to my GitHub repo, and you have to make some PRs and improve the styling and make the entire site responsive, so that when you deploy it, right, you should be viewable in mobile as well, because you'll be putting this in your resume, right? So if someone clicks on the site using mobile, right, it should be appearing good, right? So for that purpose, you should make that thing responsive. Okay? You should add more CSS. I'll leave that job to you, inshallah. Okay. And also I think that will be a very good practice for you for CSS and also for GitHub, inshallah. It will be a revision for you. Yeah. So inshallah tomorrow then we'll discuss about how to deploy this site to Netlify. And yeah, so tomorrow will be the last class, inshallah. Tomorrow Saturday, right? So Saturday, yeah, inshallah we'll keep it tomorrow, inshallah. And today it's done, okay. So as for the functionality wise, then this project is completed, alhamdulillah, and we learned a lot of stuff, right? So we almost covered most of the important things. So we'll see in the next classes, okay, inshallah. Okay, akhi. Alhamdulillah alladhi bi ni'matihi tatimmu as-salihat. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.